Hello, and welcome to your Saturn series. It is my honor to be coming to you guys today to talk to you about the planet Saturn in astrology. And what do you know? Here Saturn is right here. Oh, shoot. Hello, Saturn. So, yes, we have a hieroglyph. I don't know really what we would call this, but my little planet Saturn is with us here. So of course, I'm going to have a little intro video in the beginning of all these. Let's make sure I'm, Saturn material. And let me tell you, before these videos, woo, I can feel the Saturn energy. Like, I guess we'll just get talking about it, guys. So, well, just a little fun fact. I am actually, I would say, a pretty important advocate of Saturn because I have a Capricorn rising, so that makes me very Saturnian ruled. And also, I'm just going to mute my computer so we don't have any distractions. And I have Saturn on my sun. So in astrology, sometimes we will have planets conjunct certain signs, right? And so for me, I was just lucky enough to be born with my sun in Pisces at 14 degrees. And what do you know? Saturn at 14 degrees Pisces as well. So I just couldn't let Saturn change signs without me talking about how just fabulous he is, right, guys? So this is some channeled messages. I'm just going to be channeling today. I have some notes here, though. I do have some notes just so everything can stay structured and timely and things like that. So let's get into a little bit about what Saturn represents and stands for in astrology, and then we can get into what Saturn's most recent shift into Capricorn is going to be affecting you personally by your sign, your astrology sign. So Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, right? Capricorn is the 10th house in astrology. So that has everything to do with our career, our legacies, our long distance goals. So I would say when it comes to career and when it comes to our long distance goals and when it comes to our legacies, that's a very serious, part of the chart. The 10th house is also our midheaven. So our midheaven in astrology is symbolic for, well, our career, of course, but more so the direction in life that we need to go. Okay, so it's interesting to compare the midheaven to the north node because the midheaven is kind of like a mini north node in our astrology charts. And according to the midheaven, you can determine what your astrological boss is because the 10th house is the house of bosses and authority figures. So when we talk about the 10th house, you guys, we're also talking about Saturn. We're also talking about Capricorn. These energies all go together. They all bounce from each other, So when we think of Capricorn and we think of the mountain goat and the sea goat and how ambitious these signs are, Capricorn is actually one of the most misunderstood zodiac signs. They're very, very mysterious. Very, very mysterious. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they're ruled by such an interesting planet. And it's not only interesting, it's just everybody wants to avoid Saturn. Like, it's not nothing to play around with. Saturn gets a bad rep. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys in these videos. And this is just my opinion. There's a lot of different, oh yeah, I got my little Saturn necklace, you guys, if anybody just saw that. I wanted to really make this symbolic for us here today. So, as I was saying, I'm going to do my best to interpret Saturn. And, since I have Saturn on my sun and since I have a Capricorn rising, I'm very, very Saturnian ruled, and I'm going to do my best to explain the good, explain the bad, explain the pretty, the ugly, and everything in between. So, Saturn. We haven't even talked about the fact that Saturn is the lord of karma. Okay, so Saturn, when I think of Saturn, I think about karma. And it's interesting that Saturn has these rings, right, that go around it because what goes around comes around, right? And that is a famous saying that is related to karma. So, it's basically you reap what you sow, you know what I mean? And I'm a very, very advocate for that. I very much believe in that people, get what they deserve, whether it be good or bad. So yes, Lord of Karma, Saturn is, I like to think of Saturn as a military dad. So, and not just a military dad, but a very serious father figure, right? Saturn is a very serious planet. Everything has to be serious. Everything has to be constricted. So serious that I'm gonna put this incense out after I let you guys have a little bit of the energy, I guess. But yeah, anything like that. Like, for instance, when I first started to sit down to record these videos, my computer was updating. And I hate when my computer does that because it takes so long and I'm just on a time limit today. So I just sat here for, oh my God, it took so long for my computer to update. And it was so funny to me because I'm like, Saturn, what you doing, man? What are you doing? Like, I'm trying to record your videos, So, yeah, I felt that was kind of, I think everything's a sign. So that was just kind of funny, to go through that. So yes, very serious planet that rules restrictions. Saturn is all about limitations. Okay, these are the more harsher terms. Saturn is about rules, regulations, doing everything in a timely manner, right? Saturn, it's like amazing. Like, and if you think of Saturn, and then Capricorns are Saturnian ruled people. So, the Capricorns I know, very hardworking. I'm like, how did you clean your house, go to work, pick up your dog, mow the lawn, solve world hunger, and you look fabulous? Like, how do you do that? So, shout out to the Capricorns watching. It's your energy. And, I'm a Capricorn rising, so my spirit is Capricorn, and I come off like a Capricorn, but I'm a Pisces. So, that's just an energy there. But Capricorn sun signs, they work really hard, very ambitious people, all about their goals, and actually they're a lot about respect as well, right? So when you think of Saturn as well, you have to think of respect and authority, So when it comes to authority figures, which is anybody in a uniform, the military, police officers, anything like that, that would be a Saturnian ruled figure. And I think of Saturn as a military dad, to the point where you could clean your room spick and span, and Saturn will wipe his finger on the desk and see just a little bit of dirt. I actually do have dirt on my desk, so sorry, Saturn, but he'll be like, you do it again. It wasn't right. You did it 30 seconds later than I wanted. That's not right. Now, let's get in a little bit before my intro ends here. I wanted to end it on a more positive note, because Saturn, when you think of, and I know there's some of you watching who actually did grow up, some of us had authoritarian parents. I had an Aquarius mom, and that's so ironic because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn also rules Capricorn. So I guess, guys, when we're talking about these videos, when we're listening to this video, when we're hearing these messages today, we want to think about Aquarius and Capricorn, right? So it's interesting that Saturn is most at home in the 10th house, legacy, career, long-term goals, and also in the 11th house, which is groups of people, right? There is karma involved in groups of people, our community, our humanitarian, what we do to serve our community and the groups of people we associate with. So there is karma involved in that as well. So as I was saying, some of you who are watching, you may have grown up with an authoritarian parent, and this doesn't have to be a Capricorn or Aquarius. This could be any parent, because we all have different energy, right? This could be any parent that was just really strict. So I think strict is a good word to call Saturn. So I'm going to put that here just so I can remember that. Strict. Saturn is really strict. And okay, we're going to get into the more positive here, because where I was going with that is that, at the time when all these people are hard on us and, oh, clean it twice and don't do this and don't do that and don't do this, at the time it fucking sucks. We grow to hate these people. Saturn is a pretty hated planet, unfortunately. But throughout life we find ourselves oddly thanking these people, right? And we hate it. We hate to admit that. But it's the people who showed us structure, the people who showed us limitations and responsibility and hard work ethic. It's like going to the military when you're talking about Saturn. And it's because Saturn symbolizes, and Saturn is aware of what you do now is going to come back around to you. So if you put in the hard work now, if you're responsible now, if you work hard now, whatever you do now, it's important because it's your then. Your now is your then. Your now is your later. And that's a very Saturnian energy. So it's important, that we have these energies, because a lot of planets, and I have to say it, Neptune is one of those planets that don't really have this kind of energy. Neptune's like, chill. It'll happen when it happens, like, just do it whatever you want. It's okay that you were an hour late. It was meant to be, like water signs and water planets are, I would say, they lack boundaries. Okay, I love water. I'm a water sign. I love water. I'm all about water. But water takes the shape of its container, right? Water takes the shape of its container. And that's my little water spell that I did for the Cancer moon there. But yeah, water if you pour water into a square container, the water is going to look square, right? Water is also reflecting. So, that's a whole different story there. That's my little joke there to tell you that there's some planets that every planet, here's how I'll say this. Every planet has its duty. Every planet has its job and its position and everything like that. It has what it stands for. Every planet is symbolic for something, right? Neptune, the dream world, fantasy, illusion sometimes, Well, Saturn is actually the opposite of what you would think when you think Jupiter. And that's interesting because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius comes right before Capricorn. So Jupiter, and even the symbols, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see the symbol it's kind of dark, so I won't show it there. But just go ahead and look up the Saturn symbol, and then you can look at the Jupiter symbol, and they're kind of inverted, like it's to show you how opposite these signs are. So Jupiter is basically the opposite of the planet Saturn. Jupiter is all about expanding. It's all about making, it's the biggest planet in our solar system. So it's about expansion. It's about the higher knowledge of things, the deeper meaning, broadening your intellect and your philosophy, your teaching, learning, all that kind of stuff right there. And I'm talking about that because Saturn just got out of Sagittarius. So, Saturn being in Sagittarius, that was a very oxymoron. That was a really push and pull energy because, well, I think Saturn, I can channel Saturn, and I feel like Saturn for the past 3 years actually took a break. Like, deuces, you guys can handle your own karma. I'm going in Sagittarius where I'm going to party and put my feet up. But when I come back in 2008, if you didn't do the things that I taught you, Saturn in Scorpio, if you didn't do the things I taught you, Saturn in Libra, boy, am I going to come down hard on you. And Saturn in Capricorn, this is home, okay? Saturn is home. He's in Capricorn. And it's interesting because in 3 years, when Saturn moves into Aquarius, Saturn is home. I would say Saturn is more home in Capricorn. This grounded, quick, on its feet energy. Capricorns, they don't care. They don't have, I'm not saying Capricorns don't feel, but they don't feel as much as a water sign does. Because let me tell you, sometimes if I don't feel good enough to do something, my Capricorn rising completely gets thrown to the side. It's like, I don't feel like it. The energy today is just a little bit rough. I don't really feel like it. And then that's my emotions. I make emotional decisions. Now, Saturn is at home in the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius because those signs get shit done. They're responsible. Aquarius they're very futuristic thinking signs. So Saturn's all about your long-term goals. So it likes Aquarius. Aquarius thinks about the future. Aquarius is the star card where you're pouring from this end and you're pouring from that end. And it's interesting that Capricorn is the devil card, so that's a whole different story. I might have to do an entirely different video. Actually, I am doing kind of I'm going to be talking about the devil card and the real meaning of the devil card before Capricorn season ends. I'm going to do that a little bit towards the end of Capricorn season. That way I have a lot of energy to work with. But yeah, guys, Saturn. Okay, this is my intro video, trying to make it as structured as I can, but at the same time, I'm a Pisces, Taurus, Capricorn mix. So, this is just me being real. So I hope you're learning, and yeah, I think you'll learn more in the videos that are about your personal sign. So restrictions, limitations, boundaries. Well, but I would say boundaries is more of the positive side, right? That's why I went into that detail about water taking the shape of its glass, because water can lack boundaries sometimes. Water actually needs a foundation to have a shape, right? Water shapes us in astrology. So, the good part about Saturn is that it teaches us self-control. It teaches us boundaries and limits and structure. We do need those things in life, guys. So I'm glad that we have an energy in the universe that is an asshole enough to do that without caring about how we feel, right? Because sometimes we just have to get things done. This is our karma we're talking about here. When we're done with this realm, we carry that with us. So Saturn is actually an energy that stays with us. Like, what do you think about this come around, go around thing? I love cycles. So Saturn works in a cycle, and it's a cycle that you create before, during, and after life. So Saturn's an energy. I feel like Saturn might be the first energy that you see when you pass on. Like, what'd you do? What'd you do with your life on Earth, huh? Did you do this? Did you do that? How long did it take you? Oh, well, you know that you're gonna have, like, the reason Saturn is so serious is because he knows that whatever you did, you will face again. So you want to just be woke. You wanna pay attention to the things that are going on around this time. The karma that you're producing and designing for yourself, because we're all responsible for our own karma. And then we can get into the whole story about how you can actually affect other people's karma, which is, the karma for that is a beast. So Saturn is a very, very, very interesting energy, and I'm honored to talk to you guys today about what Saturn is going to be doing. So responsibilities, commitments, authority figures, teachers. It's a masculine energy, so Saturn actually rules our fathers. Saturn is discipline, and we talked about Saturn being rules and regulation. So that is all the hard facts about Saturn. I really just kind of want to, I have notes as well for the videos that I'll be doing for your guys' personal signs. I do want to channel a bit more though. I don't really like this structured energy. It makes me feel like, okay, let's check that off, when really I just do better when I flow. Okay, so just hang in there with me, guys. You're gonna feel the Saturnian energy in me a little bit, but you're also gonna see it in that creative Pisces way, and then I'm gonna ground everything with my Taurus moon. Okay, so this is my Saturn series. My intro video is way longer than what I wanted it to be. Sorry, Saturn. All right, so just learn through me that Saturn low-key secretly understands that nothing's perfect, right? Perfection is Virgo, right? Capricorn is the cardinal earth sign. Perfection is Virgo. So Capricorn secretly knows that things can't always be perfect, guys. Okay, it's just about doing your best. Okay, it's about doing your absolute best. Work hard, play hard, things like that. The balance between work and play. It's about it's about taking yourself seriously. Okay, that's what this energy is about. So as long as you do that, and if you don't fall into that, oh, I'm not good enough, I didn't do that good enough, trust me, I'm already doing it. It is what it is. I need the material first. So keep this in mind, guys, that when you're doing a project or when you're doing anything that needs structure or boundaries or things like that, get it there first, do it first, and then let Saturn come in and teach you, oh, well, this was too long. You talk too long about this, that. Saturn will let you know everything that is not up to par. Okay, so let's get into your personal readings, and we will see what Saturn is doing in your astrology sign. All right, guys, I'll see you in the other videos. See ya. Gemini, we need to talk. Okay, guys, this is your Saturn video. So welcome to my Saturn series. Today we're going to be talking all about Saturn and its very recent shift into your 8th house. What? Okay, so I have some notes here, and I have the liberty of researching, and I'm going to be doing a lot of channeling today as well, but it has to be structured. So I did some research on Saturn in the 8th house. Very, very mysterious placement, you guys. So just know that if you're a Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising watching this video, your energy is making a very interesting mysterious aspect to Saturn, okay? So let's talk a little bit about that. Whew, the 8th house, it's all about intimacy, right? It's the house of Scorpio. So it is the house of secrets, and it's the house of sexual activity. I don't like to say that because I view Scorpio as so much different than that, but so much more and pure than that. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. This can be a scary aspect. I was doing some research on this, and this is one of the scariest placements for Saturn to be in. If you think about it, the 8th house is the house where we dump all our secrets, right? We dump our secrets there. They never come out. Scorpio hides things very well, and they're very secretive people. So for your karma, right? Saturn's all about your karma. Our karma, everyone in the world, our karma has shifted last month when Saturn went into Capricorn, and it's home. Saturn rules Capricorn, so he's very comfortable. His influence is going to be very strong because he's home, okay? And he just came back from a very long, fun break with Sagittarius. Now, going back to the 8th house, you know, we hide things there, but Saturn, you can't hide from Saturn. So a lot of you may be trying to hide, you know, limitations, restrictions, things like that about secrets and about your intimate relationships, things like that. But the point is that you can't hide from karma, because what goes around comes around, right? That's why Saturn symbolizes that kind of karmic energy. Now, Saturn rules, I didn't talk to anybody else about this, but I could not talk to you about it. Because Saturn rules our fears. Saturn rules our worries and our anxieties and, you know, like that. The 8th house intensifies all that. So yay, right? I have Lilith in Gemini. So, you know, in my 5th house is Gemini, and my 6th house is Gemini. So I get it, guys. I know the Geminian energy. I'm a mutable sign too. The mutable signs might have a little bit more harder time with this because we're all about change, and Saturn's like, no, stand still and do the job right. Don't change, be dedicated. So, you know, the fears, the worries, and the anxieties that Saturn brings with it naturally is coming into this 8th house for you. That's going to intensify all that. So you just want to be careful if any fears are coming up with you, Gemini, or any worries or anxieties over the next 3 years, because this is very Saturnian. This is a Saturnian influence. Now, the 8th house, you know, it intensifies everything. So it's going to be, this is intensified secrets, intensified darkness, intensified intimacy. That's kind of different, better. And then it intensifies the emotions, right? So the reason why I was saying, you know, that Saturn's kind of scary in the 8th house, because I am ruled by Saturn, and I still try to avoid him, right? I was supposed to do these videos 2 days ago, but I'm just lazy. So, you know, the thing is that Saturn absolutely cannot be avoided in the 8th house. He can be avoided in some areas, but what goes around comes around. If you avoid me now, we'll come back around to this moment, and you can't avoid me again, right? So with you, Gemini, you know, you're just in a position, but this can be great, guys, where other people are going to be avoiding their karma and avoiding this shit. You're not going to be able to, right, Gemini? So just trust me that this is going to be a good transit for you. This is going to be good for you because, you know, you're not going to have any choice but to look at this. And I know that sounds bad, but sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good not to be able to run away from something. You can't run away from your own darkness. You know, you're the twin, Gemini. You guys have a dark twin. You have a light twin, all right? So you're going to do well with these energies, more well than what maybe a fire sign would do with Saturn in their 8th house, okay? So intensified secrets, intensified darkness. The dark twin, it's the influence. I know you guys kind of do well. You can kind of bring out whatever twin. If you're in a harsher situation, you call on that dark twin, right? Or if you're being too dark and you're in a light situation, partying at the club, then maybe you bring out that fun. And that's so awesome, you guys. I love Geminis. So if you find that the darker twin and the influence of your darker twin is intensified at this time for the next 3 years, just know that that's a Saturn thing too. You know, so I'm just saying that that twin, that part of you, it could be intensified, and this could lead to some pretty passionate, fiery sex with some people as well. Now, for the most part, I believe that this is transforming karma. And I love this. I love this. This is about your karma actually transforming. So before you get all, oh my God, 8th house Saturn, oh my God, I can't avoid it. What do you mean I avoid everything as a Gemini? just know this is so fucking awesome, you guys, because the 8th house, not only does it intensify transformation, but it completely just rebirths the things that come into it. So your karma is going to transform over the next 3 years. So, you know, whereas when Saturn was, oh my God, let's talk about that for a minute, how Saturn was opposite your sun. How did that go for you guys? Saturn is finally like out of alignment with you. So it can give you a fucking little bit of a break. So your karma for the past 3 years could have been very like pinpointed at you, whereas now Gemini is transforming, and in 3 years you might have a completely different karma spectrum than the rest of us. So just keep in mind that this is transforming the karma. Now remember I was talking about how the 8th house is, you know, Scorpios, they can be very sexual people. They're the most pure sign, you know what I mean? So this is sexual karma. Okay, this is like hidden karma in sexual activity. So what I've been telling people during these videos is that, you know, Saturn is very restricting. It can limit. It's about boundaries. And I'm just writing this up here at the top so I can keep looking back at it. Because it could go, there's a lot of different Geminis watching. So some of you, and this is going to suck, if you find that the next 3 years that your sexual activity or that your intimacy is restricted or limited, well, it's still your karma. And karma is very important. It's what we bring here. It's what we take with us. It's something that I believe we've designed for ourselves. Well, just know that for some of you, and specifically the Geminis that had a lot of sex the last 3 years, then it may mean that it's in your karma not to have as much sex now. Or, you know, just for some reason this example is coming up, be glad that Saturn is in this area, because if it wasn't in this area, maybe you would have sex with a certain person, get them pregnant, get an STD. But since karma, or since Saturn is restricting your karma there, then maybe you'll miss out on that, right? Like that's just different ways that it can play out. But all I know is since Saturn is in your guys' 8th house, any sex that you do or don't have, whichever way it plays out, Gemini, it's going to be karmic, okay? It's going to be karmic for you because Saturn rules karma coming back around. If you guys do have sex and have a kid, just know that that kid is karmic. Like this is meant to happen. This is destined for you. And you know, this kind of karma can't be avoided in this area of the chart. And while this karma is transforming, this sexual karma, it may bring up, you know, the 8th house is about secrets, and things are very well hidden in the 8th house. So things might come up, you know, you might have had sex with a person years ago and maybe it was secret and you didn't want it to come out. But now that Saturn has made its way into this area of your chart, all of a sudden pictures come out or these texts resurface or something like that, and this is sexual karma. Now, for some of you, this isn't going to be bad because some of you have really good sexual karma. So that girl or guy that you want to have sex with all your life, your high school crush or whatever, well, here you go. You're going to have sex with him on Friday night because Saturn says that it is possible. You know, and this is just me kind of being funny about it, guys, but I hope you can see the seriousness in it, Saturn. So, yeah, hidden karma and also hidden emotion, Gemini. Gemini, you are an air sign. I know that, you know, you don't really deal too much with emotion, but, I mean, I know you guys feel, okay, but air signs, especially, you know, things like that, the duality of it, you know, sometimes we can hide our emotion. And where do we hide our emotion at? In the Scorpio house, in our 8th house, right? So some of these emotions are going to have to get out of the 8th house so that Saturn can get in there. And, you know, this is emotional karma. So the emotions that do come out, the emotions that don't come out is karma. Remember that this could either be restricted, this could be limited, or this can be karmic. So Saturn plays itself out in different ways for everyone. And this is just a generalized Saturn in the 8th house video. And this is my opinion, that sexual karma, hidden karma. So karma that maybe, because Gemini, you guys are pretty badass. So years ago, you could have done something and you just thought, oh, I didn't get my karma for that. Well, for some of you, the karma that about secrets that you've been hiding, and that is pretty intense, right? But Pisces Priestess is here to tell you the truth. And I love Saturn, so I'm just going to channel the energy for you. Some of these secrets, some of these sexual secrets or emotional secrets or karmic secrets, they're going to be intensified. And but also Saturn might limit them. Saturn might limit the secrets that you can take. Saturn might limit the hidden karma that you can, you know. So it might not be about the karma coming out. It might just be about nothing else coming in. And that's kind of a limiting thing. So it depends, guys. I'd love to know your opinion on this. Now, the last little bit of a note here, and I'm sure I have a lot of time to talk to you guys. Well, about 10 more minutes. But the last thing I have written here for you is that you want to control the darkness and control issues. So it's about controlling the darkness and controlling your issues. So when I was talking about that dark twin, you're going to need to control that part of you more for the next 3 years, okay? Because the things that your dark twin does for years ago, maybe 8 years ago, it might have been okay. But just know that karma is waiting for you in your 8th house, and you can't avoid it. So if I know your dark twin, it likes to make fun of people because you like them. It likes to pick on people sometimes and things like that. Well, you just wanna control that a little bit, Gemini. Just control it a little bit. Make sure you give your dark twin boundaries. Like, look, motherfucker, I know, and I got that fish. Okay, I'm a Pisces, so I know all about dark duality parts of you. My fish goes this way, another fish goes that. Light, dark, left, right, up, down, black, white. I get it, Gemini. But, just for you, I don't have Saturn in my 8th house, okay? When Saturn's in Virgo, I will. And when Saturn's in Libra, I will. Because that's my 8th house on the wheel. And Virgo's my 8th house in my chart. But, then I'll be going through these kind of energies, right? I was going through that a long time ago, but I was young as fuck when Saturn was in Virgo. Probably wasn't even born yet, I don't know. But yeah, it is about controlling that darkness now, and this is the darkness of your emotions. This is dark intimacy, dark secrets. You know what this means for you personally, right, guys? This is different for all of you. But if any of this is ringing a bell, then that is what you want to, make sure you're limiting. And, I don't think this means limiting sexual activity for you. For some of you, it might. For some of you, it might. It might be restricting, especially if you might... With this placement, you might attract authority figures that want to have sex with you. And this could be like some real domineering sex. Like these authority figures might want to crack whips and things like that. Interesting. I'm making sure I listen to this because I have Lilith in Gemini, which is sexual. So I'm going to be careful because, that might be hot and everything like that. But you might want to make sure you have your boundaries, right? You don't want to be doing anything. If anything, the 8th house is about your sexual liberation. It's the very intimacy of you. This is intimacy, in my opinion, is deeper than emotion. The two kind of coincide there. So you want to be careful about any darkness that could make its way into your life, because you'll receive karma for it, Gemini, and this will be the karma that you take with you throughout life. So let's just see here, because that's a lot of information, and this is one of the most important videos. That's why I did it today. I'm not going to finish all my videos today, but I made sure to get to Gemini because I feel like you guys need to hear this, and I want as many of you to watch this video as you can. So how interesting, guys, that Capricorn is your 8th house. That means that, I get it because, whoa, that was weird. Did you see that kind of color shift there? Let's see if we can fix it. Okay. Well, Capricorn is all about, it's a very grounded energy and it's very serious. So you guys are very serious about your 8th house. And, that's no secret. That's just astrology. If you go on the zodiac wheel, you count 8 steps, counting you, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, 8 house. Capricorn, all about lifelong goals, ambition. So you guys are pretty ambitious when it comes to the intimacy and the dark hidden secrets as well. And you want to take that ambition and apply it to the boundaries that you can put in that darkness. I think you guys are going to do well with this energy, as long as you're limiting your fears and your worries and your anxieties, because that's what Saturn can help you with. Saturn can help you create boundaries when it comes to your fears and your worries and your anxieties. You want to create rules for that, for every fear you have. And a Sagittarius told me this on sorry, I hate that, it's getting kind of fuzzy there. A Sagittarius told me this, that your fears are heard just as much as your prayers. So when you have a dark thought, one thing that I've been doing is I'll say cancel. Like if I'm a Pisces and I suffer from dark thoughts, right? So I'm like, cancel. I decline, just say it. Just say, I cancel that thought. Just do whatever it is that you do as a Gemini to turn that negative energy into positive, because it's karma for you right now. And in karma, whatever goes around comes around, and you don't want that kind of negativity recircling with you. So keep your worries and your anxiety limited during this time, because you want to focus more on the intensity of your intimacy. Now, I am not someone who talks bad about the dark. You know, I love both the light and the dark as a Pisces. So I would embrace this. And I'm be very surprised if Gemini, if you didn't understand this. You know, the dark about you, and honor this completely. The dark part of you is going to be transformed. You know, Saturn is going to come in and restrict certain areas, and know that it's done on purpose. And especially if you guys have any Capricorn energy. If you have a Capricorn moon, rising sign, we all have Capricorn somewhere. And as a Gemini on the zodiac wheel, you all have it in the 8th house. So this is about karma returning. You know, what goes around comes around. Any dark, anything that has to do with intimate emotions or things like that. And remember, it cannot be avoided. Saturn, so for the next 3 years, if you're just wondering, why the fuck can't I get away from this? Why is this circling me and circling me and circling me? Well, it's because Saturn's in your 8th house, and Saturn is being intensified for you guys. Karma, all of that, restrictions. So, you know, restrictions in general, limitations in general, boundaries in general are going to be intensified for you guys in different areas of your life. And I think this could be great, especially if you guys are some of the softer Geminis who, you know, for some reason let people overpower them or something like that. You know, speaking of overpowering, this could be, you know, intense authority figures coming at you, some of them giving you the lusty eye, wanting you bad. So, you know, but if it ain't a sexual thing, some authority figures might get darker with you if you come across, if you guys are working in like areas with authority figures, especially your boss. Saturn rules your boss. Saturn rules your dad. Your dad might get darker. Your dad might get more power hungry. Depends, guys. This is just general, okay? I didn't have long to talk to you about this, but, you know, it's very important to know where these energies can play out. And I also advise you guys to do your research. Just type in Saturn in the 8th house, and the information that you're led to, it'll help you. This is just what I could give you here today. And I'm also channeling. This is kind of like just my own opinion. Some of this stuff I didn't find online, so it's just kind of my opinion there. And I hope it relates to you guys. But yeah, I would research Saturn in the 8th house so that you could understand that. And even Saturn in Scorpio, which happened a few years ago, like 3 years ago, Saturn moved into Sagittarius, so it was just finishing in Scorpio. And I know, 2012. 2012 is when Saturn was in Scorpio. And man, did I feel that energy. 2012 was when, like, everything just, it's when my journey in all this kind of started. So, yeah, if you kind of want to remember the energy of 2012, that kind of goes in here with the 8th house, Gemini. I'm not sure how your guys's 12th house, how your 2012 was, but yeah, you can research Saturn in Scorpio or Saturn in the 8th house, and you'll find some information there. And also, you could check your own 8th house, so you could get a little bit more insight. So whatever your 8th house is, you know, it'll help you with this information. And if you don't know that, please hit me up, please, because, you know, I like doing these things. As long as you have your birth time, I'll be able to find out like what your 8th house is, and then we can talk more about this. So let's just take a look here at anything else, any other important things I want to say before the video ends. I love the fact that your karma is transforming. You guys are going to be reborn at the end of this transit, right? So just know that anything that comes or goes during this time, it's all for the purposes of you being a different person at the end of this. You know, we are our karma in a way. And it's kind of interesting when you think about it that way. Because we create our karma, you know what I mean? So it's almost like your essence and who you are as a person is transforming. Your 8th house is going to be transforming karmically. This is karmically. Like, so millions of years ago, the universe knew that in 2018, Gemini would go through. That's how serious this is. This is how karmic this is. Like, this is meant to happen. This is fated. It's meant for you to have these intense secrets right now. This is the time for you to really deal with this energy. So I would really evoke that dark twin to deal with these energies, right? Because who could control the darkness better than a Gemini dark twin with 8th house karmic energy? Sounds badass to me. So, you just want to make sure you're paying attention to any restrictions or limitations or boundaries when it comes to this karmic darkness, karmic intimacy and emotions. And you really want to make sure you're controlling this darkness as much as you can with these limits and boundaries, because that's where it's going to come in good for you. It could stir up some control issues with dads and father figures and bosses, especially with this dark energy. Not a lot of people handle dark well. I think Pisces, Libra, and Gemini and Scorpio handle dark well in Capricorn. Fire signs and other signs, they don't really handle darkness that well. So you do have kind of a one-up on this energy. So, okay, Gemini, I can't fight the feeling that there's more to say. My Pisces really isn't enjoying these videos too much because there's not much room for creativity. So I'm trying my best here with this energy. And my Pisces sun and Saturn right on my sun is like going right back and forth with each other. But, I wanted these to be a timely manner. I wanted to get these videos out quick and fast to you guys. So it's really, really, really important to me that this month you guys comment. Make sure you comment your feedback, and I know it is for the next 3 years. So this energy, keep in mind that it has 3 years to manifest. You might not feel it at all in 2018. This might wait, especially because it's hidden, but you can't avoid it. As for you, this might manifest more in 2019, and my video will still be here. Some of you may be watching this in 2019 or 20. Time is fluid. But anyway, please, please, please comment below and comment your questions. I have my information below, the Facebook and all that. Message me if you want more information. If you want me to do more videos touching up on this, please let me know, and I will. This is what I love to do. But for now, I'm going to leave you with this information. And I think the most important part of this is transforming karma. I think that's the thing that sticks out to me most, is that your karma is transforming. So there's kind of a lack of control that you might feel when it comes to this energy. And that's okay, Gemini. I think this is more positive than it is negative, right? Capricorn is your 8th house. So you're very serious about these kind of secrets. You're very serious. That's why Gemini tells the truth most of the time, right? I know there's Geminis that lie and stuff like that. And it's so interesting. One second. My thought just went to this, that I'm recording your video, the 8th house, and then it's like the sun is going down. So that's why this video starts out kind of light, and now we have this kind of darker energy. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a sign that with the light and the dark, Gemini energy. So, everything happens for a reason. That's why you don't want to control everything with Saturn. But what I was saying is that Gemini is the messenger, right? You guys are kind of like prophets. You're low-key angels, right? Like Virgo. You're ruled by Mercury, the messenger of God. So messengers of God are very truthful people. Gemini is the mutable air sign. All air signs are about communication and kind of like, the King of Swords, Queen of Swords type of energy. So, no wonder. It's because your 8th house is Capricorn. So you guys are very serious and ambitious about what's hidden. So just keep that in mind, that this energy is pretty badass for you to be going through for the next 3 years. And like I said, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message me, email me, whatever's best for you to get a hold of me. Until then, though, guys, I will be letting you go, and I will talk to you in a few days, couple weeks, something like that. I'll talk to you soon in your Gemini January video. All right, bye, guys.